Hi, my name is Jessica. I studied anthropology and political science at Birmingham and I graduated that in 2017. And then I did my master's in international relations and gender, and I graduated from that in 2018. And I now work as a consultant at UN Women in New York. So the reason I studied anthropology and politics was because I thought it was a very good combination of two degrees that really complemented each other. So the politics gets sort of the political background and sort of the theory side of things, and then the anthropology comes in with the human side, and sort of you understand why those theories in politics exist. And then the reason I wanted to study it at Birmingham was because there's actually a very limited amount of universities that offered this combination. I think Birmingham was maybe one of the only ones. And so I was really interested in studying this combination particularly, and Birmingham was somewhere, it was a really great university and one of the only ones that offered it. So it was sort of a good combination of both a really great university and a good course. So anthropology is, I guess it's like sort of the study of humans, like not human behavior, but it's sort of a combination of like politics, philosophy, history, sort of like evolution. It's a combination of like sort of why humans do what they do, but from so many different theoretical perspectives, and kind of combines all of that into just discovering why humans behave the way they do, why we interact in certain ways. And I think the thing that I really enjoyed about being at Birmingham was, number one, especially within anthropology, the class size was so small because the course was so small. I think there was only about 30 of us on the course. And so because of that, we really got to know our course mates, our lecturers, our teachers. We really got to know them and build a relationship with them. And so I always felt like I could come to my lecturers and speak to them if I needed anything. They were really helpful in guiding you in your essays and extracurricular stuff. They really inspired us on that. There was a lot of different movie nights and things that they did as well, which I found really fun. And just the university itself, there's so much going on. It's such a beautiful campus as well, which doesn't hurt. And I just really enjoyed my time here, and I really made some great friends and had some really great lecturers. And I think that was the reason as well why I wanted to stay on so much and do my master's there. So after I graduated, I started off in a role in London as a international relations stakeholder assistant for sort of a government department agency. But I was then offered an internship in the gender focal point at the Special Tribunal for Lebanon, which is a international criminal court in The Hague. So I was there for a few months, and then after that internship, I was offered an internship at UN Women in New York. And so from there, I went to New York and I was there for a few months. And then I was lucky enough to be offered a consultancy off my internship. So now that's where I've ended up. So I'm now doing my consultancy at UN Women. So it went sort of from an internship to a consultancy. So my day-to-day job, I'm in the Intergovernmental Support Division of UN Women. So our job mainly is to interact with member states and provide them we do a lot of language proposals on gender. So say there's a big UN meeting, we'll go and we'll help them, provide them like in areas where they can add in gendered language and sort of make the, say, documents, resolutions more gendered, and make sure that there's always a gender angle in all of the sort of the big UN work. We cover a lot of meetings. So we go to a lot of the, for example, I think in September, I was going to the UN High Level Week. So we went there and we sort of monitored how different member states were paying attention to gender and women's issues and gender equality. And we sort of rank them and then do lots of gender analysis based on how people are discussing gender and where there's areas of weakness and where there's strength and what areas people are focusing on. I think the biggest thing that I love about what I do is just, it's it's a very intense job, and sometimes it's very long hours, but it's always rewarding. You always know that what you're doing is somehow helping people and somehow progressing sort of towards that goal of like gender equality. So it's that side of things that although it can be difficult and it can be tough, you always know that you're working for something greater and something better. So a few things that helped me in terms of my degree and like where I am now. For example, during my undergrad dissertation in anthropology, I did it on female Indian migrants coming to the UK and sort of their perspective as like domestic workers coming to the UK. And through that, I had to do a lot of interviewing. So I think it got I developed skills in terms of interviewing and like speaking to people and trying to get like sort of people's stories out of them. So I think it helped in terms of that and getting to know how to really speak to people and get more like in depth into conversations with people. So I think that really helped. As well, in my job, every year we do a Secretary General's report on gender equality in like UN resolutions. So it's like a gender analysis of UN resolutions, and it's a lot of quantitative and qualitative work, which is I had to do a lot of, particularly in my master's dissertation, where I did a media analysis. So that those skills in the media analysis helped a lot in terms of researching the research that I now do. So that was really helpful because I developed those quantitative and qualitative skills as well, which is great. And yeah, I think definitely the dissertations really hone in on your research skills and your ability to like deal with large amounts of data and reading, which is a lot of what I have to do as well, a lot of quick reading through like big documents and things. So that really helped.